Good morning again. I did an earlier devotional, but I have just kept thinking about something else that I read in another devotional and just kind of felt that God wanted me to share that too. It was talking about grief and how we need to feel in order to heal, and that even Jesus took time to grieve when he went to see Mary and Martha after their brother Lazarus had died. He knew already what he was about to do, that he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead. And yet, the verse says Jesus wept when he went to the grave or the tomb where Lazarus was and saw the people crying. And, he took that time to weep for his friend. When John the Baptist, who was his cousin, was beheaded, Jesus was, preaching, teaching these crowds of people, and he went away for a while to try and be by himself. And because he needed that time to process the grief he was feeling. And yet the crowds followed him, and he had compassion on them and continued to teach. And I think there's so many times where we either don't take that time to grieve, whether we think God's going to think we're weak, or we're trying to be strong for other people. I know when we lost my mother-in-law and father-in-law within 7 weeks of each other in 2021. My father-in-law passed in April, right after Easter, and 7 weeks later, his wife, my mother-in-law, passed. And I remember trying to be strong for my husband. I couldn't imagine losing both of my parents so close, let alone just even one parent, because, just losing his dad, we knew that he had heart issues and it wouldn't be long. And, we almost were prepared for that one, and yet it still was very difficult because we had just gone down to see him, and I think it was like 2 weeks later he was gone. And I don't think either one of us was really taking the time to grieve, because my husband was, trying to be strong. I'm a man, and I was trying to be strong for him so that if and when he wanted to cry, he knew it's okay to cry. I'm not going to think you're weak, and I was trying to be strong for my children who may not have been as close to those grandparents because we lived 2 hours away from them and didn't get to see them as often. But I was trying to be strong for them because this was their first grandparent who was passing away. And so it wasn't until the funeral of my father-in-law that I really took that time then to grieve and cry. And my husband did the same, and that made my daughter cry because she saw her daddy crying. And, it was we all grieved at that time. And then 7 weeks later, we were just kind of blindsided, having to deal with another death. And sort of did the same thing, and yet it was that anger that's a part of death that I don't always go through. I don't think that anger stage, because I've been one that usually when someone has passed, it's, expected, or, that they were sick and you just kind of are going, Lord, please just take them so that they don't suffer anymore. And I think the first time I actually felt the anger stage was when my sister passed. And, it kind of scared me when I got angry at, not at him, but it was the doctors who had messed up. And that anger, I expressed it, and then I was kind of like, where did that come from? But that's where God was able to meet me. Because, whether you're get angry and express that to God, and, I get it. Sometimes people are angry at God, and He doesn't judge you. If you, God, I'm so angry at you. He lets you express those feelings. It's okay to feel that, but don't get stuck there. God doesn't judge you. He's not, thinking you're a weak person because you're crying. He doesn't get angry because you're mad at Him. He wants you to express those feelings so that He can then help you through that process. Because, Jesus was there. He experienced it too. And so He wants to give you the peace and the comfort so that you can heal. It's okay. Have these feelings, and then we can move forward and you can heal, and then you can help other people. So if you're grieving the loss of a loved one, whether it is a recent loss or maybe it's been years, but you've never truly taken that time to feel what you needed to feel, to express those feelings, and to truly grieve, then go ahead and let all that out and talk to God about it and let Him heal you and start that healing process in you so that you can move forward. And maybe He wants to use you to help others who have to go through that as well in their life, or maybe who haven't grieved yet, and you can help them understand, hey, I did the same thing. I held it all in for years and didn't face it, but God let me get it all out, and I, questioned Him. I was angry. I cried, and He didn't judge me, and He didn't get mad at me. He loved me, and He understood, and then He helped me. So I don't know why I needed to say all that, but I hope that helps somebody. And I just want to encourage you that, sometimes grief takes a long time, and sometimes you never fully get over, that loss. I know it's been over 20 years that I've lost my sister, and I still miss her and grieve at times, the little things that would set you off. You hear a song that she loved, and I cry because I miss her. And it's only been 2 years since we lost my father-in-law and mother-in-law, and I have their picture up on their entertainment center, and there's times I look at it and I'm like, I can't believe they're gone. I miss them. And yet I can smile and say, I know that they're together. I know they're in heaven, and I know I will see them again one day. And it's the same for my sister, that I don't wish her back because I know she is so happy and is in the perfect place right now, that having her come back to this crazy mixed up world isn't what she would want, I wouldn't want to come back either. I love my family dearly, but once I'm in heaven, I'm in a perfect place, and I can only hope and pray that all of my loved ones will see me again one day, because they too will have that relationship. But go ahead and grieve, go ahead and cry, go ahead and feel what you need to feel, and then ask God to heal your heart so that you can move forward and help others heal. Have a great day.